Evening all. So hopefully I've got a new microphone which is attached to me, and hopefully hopefully it will work, and hopefully I won't get run over. So obviously this is like a massively busy road. Now I will say that the Penkridge Bank Road would probably benefit from having some sort of like calming paving put in, so it's like a little bit of road that juts out. But anyway, I think they'll slow the traffic down and make life a lot nicer for the local wildlife here. Blackberry bushes, a bit early, August, September. So I'm actually heading down. I'm heading down to where we've parked in the past. Again, I've got to be careful of the traffic. It's getting dark. I mean, I haven't got any night vision with me, so yes, folks. Cannock Chase Paranormal. My name is Gail, and I am we're kind of just doing a two-person investigation tonight. It's really just like a gentle sky watch, and to be honest, it was a case of wanting to get out and just get a bit of fresh air and get a bit of nature. So looking towards the I don't know if I can zoom in like this, but yeah, looking towards the, I think it's Pie Green Tower. There was a recent video of a UAP above there, which was seen from the opposite direction, and yeah, it was really cool. Flies. So this is route in. Now, yeah, what happened last time we went down here was Kim saw something, and she said, "Effing hell, run!" So I mean, I can't run, but I did hobble after her. So I'm a little bit tentative about going in, because twice I've gone in here and something's happened. So yeah, just gonna hold you up there. I'm gonna change it to super steady on this camera. So yeah, like I say, I haven't got any night vision tonight, so it's a bit of a bitch, but you know, just deciding, trying to figure out what to get next, and yeah, how much future there is in investigations at Cannock Chase. So okay, so here goes. I mean, I do have a torch with me, so it should be okay. It's still light. It's what the time now is 9:30. Yeah, sort of roughly about here. That last time, that something, a rock flew our way. I don't know where it landed, probably sort of around there kind of thing. But it was definitely something that wasn't an acorn or anything like that. It could have been, I mean, I say rock, it's hard to tell. When something hits the floor, it made a bit of a thud, so I'm assuming it's quite a large stone. I don't know any animals that kind of carry stones about and throw them at people, but Cannock Chase is it's kind of interesting for that. So anyhow, so yeah, last time we went down here, we got sort of well beyond the next set of trees, and yeah, it's absolutely beautiful though, I will say. Yeah, it's kind of weird how your eyes play tricks on you this time of night. I can sort of see a great big black shape up ahead, kind of humanoid shape, but I actually, quite honestly, I think it's actually part of the wood. I'm not going to go too far into this because I am here to, you know, do a bit of a sky watch with my friend, but having been sort of sat around all day, it's quite tired as well, so I've not really done very much, and I kind of feel a little bit, I've kind of eaten the wrong stuff as well, so I kind of feel a little bit fat, to be honest. I'm not the fittest of people, but okay, so it's so my phone is telling me that I need more light for it to be on super steady settings. So okay, so it's kind of weird because super steady is clearly a lot. The image appeared really, really dark. Nice slow-mo, so if you do see a Bigfoot, then yeah, you can drop me a comment. If I do post this to YouTube, not always a given, but I haven't done a video for a while, so possibly this will go up. I've been sort of, I mean, I wanted to get a hold of the microphones anyway, but for anyone who watches any of these videos, I will be doing different videos on YouTube, so there's lots of little routes in and out of this place. Feels like it's changed quite a lot, actually. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down here for a change. It's all of a sudden gone really, really quiet. See, what's really weird is that I'm actually walking around without my rucksack, so it's not like I feel any lighter on my feet. But so folks, this is Birches Valley, and Birches Valley is synonymous with black-eyed girl. So it's only a quick walk, but already this feels kind of really eerie, incredibly eerie place. I haven't got my tri-field meter with me, so there's no indication of anything, even if I did sense something myself, which, the fuck was that? Okay, that might, something just flashed down there now. I may have been seeing traffic, because we're very close to the road. Yeah, so back on the road down there. That's pretty cool. So I've never been down this path before, so it's, in a way, The fuck was that? Okay, I'm fully on my alert now. I've just heard something. Just heard something make a humping noise, and possibly you might not pick that up. One of the crazy things is that, you know, even without a torch, or even without, you know, some sort of audio detection equipment, our ears and our eyes still pick up a lot more than any camera could. And it's a really, really shame that I once saw an episode, I think it was Black Mirror, I think it's called A History of Everything, and everything that you see is recorded, and in a way that would be absolutely fantastic, to record everything you see and hear as it happens, in the same quality as you actually hear and see it. If your eyesight and ears are good, obviously, because then you wouldn't need all this recording equipment. Just need to download when you got back. Shit, and that in itself sounds scary, downloading stuff from you. That's like kind of, we're talking transhumans. These trees always kind of feel weird. It's kind of like death and decay. You know, I guess the tops of them are quite, you know, nice. I think what I was hearing was like maybe the creaking and a certain amount of branches and stuff touching against each other, maybe. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of here, navigate hopefully across where the traffic is, and see if I can have a walk over the other side. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who they'll bring their dogs up to Cannock Chase every single night, you know, all of their lives. They'll come for a walk. They walk with their families. They walk with, you know, the partner. They'll come up with, you know, the pet pooch, and they will swear there is nothing on Cannock Chase that is paranormal or anything like that. But you know, I think the history of, and I don't think it's urban myths, when, you know, when people actually get, you know, even lads, if they get in a car and they make the effort of going to the police and reporting what they've seen, to me that's quite validating. You can have a prank, you can, you know, wind up your girlfriend or your, you know, or your mum or your dad and say, oh, been to Cannock Chase and it's had a scary encounter with something, and that's fine. But you go to the police and it's all of a sudden, you know, becomes like something completely different. So that is Birches Valley. This, I think, if I was to head in a straight direction, would take me down to where we had an encounter with a black cat. It's quite a chilly night. For anyone who doesn't know, I mean, in the UK we had a real heat wave just over a week ago, for about a week. I don't mind. I love hot weather. But sort of since then the weather's dropped off a little bit. We've had a couple of days of bits of sprinkles and hints of rain, and And it's cooled down. It's actually really nice tonight, but it's almost chilly actually. And I know that we're going to launch back into a heat wave next week. But I don't mind it like this. We were going to go to Castle Ring tonight, but we decided that following the video of the potential alleged UAP above Pie Green, I thought it'd be interesting just to kind of come down here. It's interesting. It's almost like a little path going up there. I don't want to kind of stray too far. I know sort of where I'm headed. I swear I just heard. Might be people's voices carrying, but I could have sworn I just heard someone. I can hear voices, but I'm trying to go as quietly as I can. I don't really want to. When I'm on my own, I like to sort of avoid people, really. Especially on my own, not on Cannock Chase. I can look after myself, but you just don't know, do you? So it's believe it or not, it's 9:45 at night now. I know the nights are already sort of drawing in, realistically, but it's still nice and light, and considering that it is actually a cloudy evening at the moment, very light cloud, but it is a cloudy evening. So do I walk down further and then maybe start making my way back? Or do I walk across? I might walk across. It is actually worth. If I walk down, I know where it's going to take me, and I don't know. I don't know. I've got to be realistic about what I want to do tonight. Yes, Cannock Chase, it's in the third, nothing goes on, but you don't know. As much as I'm interested in the paranormal, I can hear something. Yeah, somebody might be come down there. I don't know. I can hear music playing. So I wasn't going crazy. I could definitely hear something. Doesn't sound that far away either. Unless there's an actual gig going on somewhere. They have done that before, but usually that's something you can sort of hear from Castle Ring. There's Brockton, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's something at Brockton. And if you're with people, it doesn't really matter. If you encounter some strange people, then, not that we're not strange, but if you encounter some strange people, then it's not as worrying. You know, I've seen videos of, you know, people on Cannock Chase, and they're literally just out for a walk, and people start following them. It's like it's like they're getting ready to rob them, but they're sort of staking them out in wherever the people walk. They still, you know, they're behind them, and so you know, it can happen. So I guess at 14 minutes we can start talking about what do I believe. We started coming to Cannock Chase. Bly started coming to Cannock Chase with team 10 years ago, and it's a good appropriate moment to actually just kind of recap on everything I experienced. And it started with a dramatic encounter with what we... I think if an assumption had a percentage, this would be 95%. We assume it to be a black cat of some kind. It was a cat. I did see a vague outline of it, probably about 6 foot. Not a huge cat, but about 6 foot. And that was an encounter that we had. And that's how it all started. And then, things got quite crazy. There was a bit of a lull actually after that, and I was desperate to have more experiences. We came back to the same place, which is German cemetery, down to the woods, back up to the German cemetery. So we did that a couple of times with nothing really happening, and eventually we then went for a walk at Castle Ring. I found that really, really strange. You could feel. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not psychic. I don't kind of generally feel these things or experience these things like other people claim to do. But innately, I think being out, and I've done a few walks by myself, quite a few walks in Cannock Chase, where I've just kind of bushwhacked and I've just found tiny little trails that probably not many people would find, and the innate ability we have starts to kind of come to the surface. So you start to smell things, you start to feel things, you start to sense things. It's all legitimate. 10. There's something going on. I can hear someone shouting now. I don't really want to go down there. So it's coming up to about 10 to 10. So 2 hours off midnight. Going to Castle Ring was interesting then. And I guess what really kind of kick-started it was November. I think it was 2017, November 2017, and it could have been 2018. We're up at Milford Common, and there was nothing spectacular. There's a lot of deer around that night, but then don't know. I thought I saw something then, but yeah, a lot of deer around that night. This was Milford Common, and hello, copy that.
Cool. Anything happening? Over.
Now I went into the woods up to the point where Kim said, "Fucking hell, run!" And then I kind of took a left turn, and it's pretty spooky over there. Nobody about, and I've sort of kind of come full circle. So I won't probably come from the other direction. But I'll see you in a bit. I'm not quite sure where I am, but I'll find my way back.
See you later. Have fun. Over.
I could hear somebody shouting actually. And I bet I could hear music, but I could hear someone shouting. I don't know if that's a good sign, but I was going to carry on down this path that I was on, and I thought, do you know what? I'm by myself, so probably not.
Yeah, I've got you. I can hear music over here as well. I think there might be a concert on Cannock Chase. Over.
Yeah, that was my fault as well, because it's not the first time, is it?
For sure. Over.
Alright, so I'll be back with you shortly anyway.
Okay. Over.
So yeah, 2018, I think it was, or 2017 November, we were at, yeah, it's 2017 for definite. We're at Milford Common, and yeah, we nothing happened until we got up onto the plateau, and yeah, it was just kind of weird. It was as if like the whole atmosphere had changed. I mean, it's November, so you know the temperature is actually just cold anyway. Not damp, but just cold, and yeah, we saw some lights flickering around. Then, as we descended back down the path the way we came, a black shape, probably about 2-3 foot high, rushed past me and took my legs from me, and I didn't, harm myself, but I did end up on my backside. So I decided to kind of start a Facebook group then, and maybe to kind of garner a bit of attention for Cannock Chase, and so that's what I did. And it's actually interesting. It's right over in the distance. Let's see if you can see me on that. Yeah, but it's an interesting area actually. So yeah, I started a Facebook group, and then the next investigation was also at Milford Common, and that was the famous night of we had the wood knocks. That was crazy. We did some wood knocks ourselves. Now, I often think, was something staged, but genuinely wood knocks, and then 4 or 5 minutes later, the wood knocks came back now, and it wasn't echoing. It was different number of wood knocks, and they came back. We were picking up these extraordinary readings, for electromagnetic readings, from trees and stuff, which is really odd. And so I'm just trying to figure out where I am. Yeah, it's and we had the booming noise. It's like something had picked up something massive, and it's slamming into the forest floor. And that was March 2018. So and that's where the kind of bug really started, I suppose. Oops, just got to not scratch my neck because I've just knocked the microphone. And hopefully this microphone's working and you can pick everything up that I'm saying. I mean, it's nice. If it was like a clear night, it'd be beautiful, it'd be warm. I probably think there'd probably be more insects out. It feels quite insect free at the moment. I mean, definitely the craziest night experiences in 2019. That still stands out to me as one of the most paranormal experiences I've ever had, and that was at that was down by the £1 million house. So down by £1 million house, there's 4 of us, and a week before I'd actually, this was Castle Ring, I'd actually gone down what we call the escalator, which was like a long slope, because Castle Ring is really, really high up for anyone who's never been there. If you don't realise how high up it is, and you kind of walk down the paths to the £1 million house, it will hit you hard as you're coming back, because it is such a long incline back up, and so we took the escalator down into the forest. It's just like a very direct way down, 150 meters incline, and 150 meters between the height and stuff from Castle Ring. And we found ourselves in a forest, and I'd been there a week before, and I remember thinking there's something kind of like sulphurous, stinking. I thought it was a dead animal. It was an absolutely beautiful day. And I decided to try and find I don't like to see gore, I don't like to see death, but I kind of thought it was interesting. I could smell the smell. But as I kind of got close to the smell disappeared, and then it came back. And I thought there's no breeze, and it seemed to, whatever it was, it was just like something that was stinking, that was alive. So, and then a week later we came back, and as we stood, as we went down to the £1 Million House, I'd already seen it a few times. So I said to the rest of them, and I don't know why I said this, it's almost like I was impelled to say this. I said to the rest of them, I'm going to wait here on the path. They disappeared sort of like, kind of like down and round a corner to where the entrance was, £1 Million. And they were quite a long way away from me. Maybe 150 meters, but it's quite a long way when you've got forests and stuff, and So for some reason I put my tri-field. I put my tri-field down on the ground. I had a very old mobile phone. I've never got the latest model of mobile phone. That's for 100% sure. This is probably the most new mobile phone I've got, and I put my meter down on the ground, and I just stood there for a minute, and then so I'm like, maybe I'm here, I'm facing this way, and my meter is sort of like in front of me, and then all of a sudden behind me I hear something that sounded like, it was like, I don't know if you can hear this, rocking backwards and forwards, like as if something was rocking from one foot to the other. And there was like, certain twigs and stuff on the ground, so it was kind of crunching the twigs as well, and it sounded heavy. And I turned around, and I'm looking behind me, but I'm literally, there's nothing there, but I'm actually looking straight at something. And this is where that, that innate ability to sense things and hear things and smell things, you lose that in a city, you lose that in everyday life. But that moment I knew I was looking at, 100% I knew I was looking at something, and it was looking back at me. The only difference was I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it with my eyes. Didn't pick up on my phone, and ultimately, as I stood there staring at it, I can hear then my tri-field meter going off. It kind of makes a creaking noise. It goes, I can hear that going off. So then I turn around again, and there it is. It's on the ground, and I'd never seen it spike so much in all my life. Never seen it spike, and it did that twice. And there is a video on YouTube if you want to have a look. Stood there for a few minutes. Eventually the rest of the group came back. All went calm again. Never saw anything. We made our way back, and weirdly enough, the sky was absolutely crystal clear blue sky, and it was probably about this time of night as well. So time now being, it's now 10 o'clock, so 10 o'clock on July the what is the date today? July the 4th or 5th. So it's about 10 o'clock, and we're walking back. We're looking at the sky, and there seemed to be like a bird of prey or something. And as we looked at it, it just simply disappeared. Poof, gone. So we walked on a bit further. We're heading back up the path, not up the escalator where we came down, because it's quite an arduous climb back up. So we're heading up the path, very long walk, and there's a little cut off, a little green path that takes you down to yeah, it takes you down to a a pool. Several pools around there. One of them's completely private. The other one's kind of not so much. I think you can't fish there, obviously, but people do. So as we're walking down to this pool, it's like there's a canopy of trees. So it is like a little bit of a tunnel of trees with this lovely, beautiful grass path. And then to the left of us, there was this green orb shot up. And now, Paul that was closest to it, he felt instantly sick. It was like tennis ball size green. It was quite bright. And it kind of flew straight up into the canopy. I heard stories, that friend said afterwards, that these things had been known to rise above a canopy, and police helicopters have been known to encounter them. Not really known what it is. I mean, it could be a natural phenomenon, because there's a lot of natural phenomena we're not really aware of as commonplace. I mean, for example, a few years back, 2023 I think it was, late August, we had ground lightning coming up from here. So it's like literally coming up from the ground, and it was lighting up the clouds, different colours. I've never seen that in my life, and it's like something out of a sci-fi film. So yeah, we were. Now I don't know what that actually is. There concrete behind me. I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to be, but it's interesting. It definitely looks like a structure. Formally a structure. Yeah, so I digress. So yeah, Paul felt quite sick. We left that area and we made our way back to Castle Ring, and we spent a little bit of time on Castle Ring. It's such a beautiful night, avoiding getting any annoying any adders, but we spent a little bit of time on Castle Ring, and we just this is really interesting. Yeah, we just kind of chilled for a bit. Then we started to walk around Castle Ring, and as we were on the home straight towards where the cars were parked, we saw some shapes come down onto the ring, and it was kind of quite erratic. So I got my night vision scope out. It's really good at identifying animals and stuff. You can see animals from not miles away, but from far enough away that you can actually make out clearly what they are. And as I focused in on this blobby shape, it kind of morphed. It went from one shape to two shapes, and it just seemed really weird. It just very erratic, morphing. I think at one point it looked oblong, and then it kind of went sort of like oval, sort of, but upright, vertical, horizontal. I took some pictures. It's not the greatest device to try and take pictures, but I took some pictures. We had them analysed, and it was incredible what they kind of showed. It was really odd, and I know for a fact that if if it'd been a identifiable person or animal, it would have taken me seconds to identify it. But this is, as it was, this is really strange. I don't know what this is or was. I don't know if you can see it. So, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm not going to say it's weird, but it's just really weird. As soon as I said the word aliens, phone went off. I've just rebooted. Yeah, so as I was saying, over the last couple of years I've had a few really weird dreams. I've had dreams where I was a shadow person. Not, I didn't play out any narrative. It was just, I was there, I was in the present, and I scared the life out of people who were also there, and that was a weird dream. I've had dreams where I'm actually other people, and I've had dreams where I am being maybe abducted, but a mass abduction, invasion, call it what you like, and it kind of went from horror to understanding to, accepting, a new scenario. I've had some really weird dreams, but I also have felt with Cannock Chase, and this is again generally paranormal. If you go back 6 years, 7 years maybe, you couldn't, if you posted on a group, there was you'd have like 8 moderators, you'd have thousands of posts, but lots of posts, probably 30k people on these groups, and it was it's kind of crazy just crazy the amount of people you have on these groups, and yeah, sort of post 2020, it's almost like something shifted in reality, that people were no longer looking towards the paranormal for something different. And maybe they don't know, maybe all those 30,000 people haven't figured out where or what they're looking for now, but it's definitely something shifted. It's like the whole world shifted. And I think it kind of feels like there's a theory that the world has shifted and none of us know it, like something catastrophic has happened, and we're just kind of gathered up and have moved to another identical dimension, and perhaps the Cannock Chase that I knew, back in 2019, is now different. It's now a different Cannock Chase. Maybe it's kind of running a slightly different timeline. So, and in a way, I kind of felt that that's sort of what happened. 2018-19, loads of stuff going on up here. I think it's almost like somebody relieved the pressure valve on the whole thing, and now it's kind of building again. And I think, in a way, it's kind of, it feels like generally in the world we've been prepared for something. We've been prepared for what comes next. And I don't think that's going to be a man-made thing. I think it's going to be something extraordinary. And I'd like to think it's going to be something extraordinarily good. Okay, start recording again. So I'm actually hoping that they recorded that last bit. That was weird. I just had to take a phone call, which is never it's always kind of a bit disconcerting. On Cannock Chase you take a phone call, and it's getting dark now. It's 10:10. So hopefully all of that previous monologue you've kind of caught, and essentially just to kind of say that there's a lot happened on, just to summarise it, exactly what I was just saying, just in case it never recorded first time. I kind of believe that, the world is more incredible than we can imagine, and that perhaps the fact that, all these people on all these different Facebook groups back in 2018, 2019, and the fact that they all of a sudden stopped posting anything, all of a sudden, the idea of ghosts became quite mundane and boring, and all of a sudden people lost interest. And I think maybe there's something bigger that's happened after 2019. And obviously people say, well, yeah, of course we had COVID, but maybe it wasn't just COVID. And it's weird, I had a theory at the time. I said, and this was I'm talking to my brother, and it was a complete conspiracy theory, and I was joking that maybe the vaccination was more than just a vaccination. It was something that was preparatory for something else that's going to happen, and those that take it will kind of maybe find themselves in a different place. They talk about three-dimensional existence and five-dimensional existence, and how some of us can shift and others don't appear to. So I mean, that's a bit complicated. It kind of like, complicates me out a little bit. Think about that. But what if we did actually, shift from one dimension to another, without, you go to bed, you go to sleep, you just close your eyes and you're in another dimension. That's it. Everything's exactly the same. It's just a duplicate, like a photocopy. Except that some things are kind of missing. And maybe that happen. Does that happen on an individual basis? Does it happen on a mass kind of basis, so that we all kind of wake up and something slightly different? And yeah, you'd say that during COVID, yeah, things felt a lot different. And I like I say, I was joking with my brother that maybe because he was going off on a real conspiracy thing. So much so he's no longer in a country, no longer in the UK, and hopefully he's still alive. He's in a place where it's quite difficult for him to contact us. I pray he's still alive, but I don't know. It's life is life, isn't it? I've changed my whole philosophy about life and death. I mean, I don't like pain, but it happens to all of us. And yeah, I just kind of felt that, and I had a lot of conspiracies about the vaccination. I said maybe the vaccinations aren't what you think they are, because lots of people saying that they're injecting nanos into us and stuff. Yeah, and who knows actually? I mean, I'm sure it's not, but just for the sake of fantasy and maybe it was something kind of a bit more. It was a coordinated effort. I don't know. It makes me sound like a conspiracy nut, but I think I've just got a very active imagination. I do like the nuts and bolts of life. Going at shops, buying food, watching mindless television, reading a book, listening to music. That kind of blows my mind, and I like all those kinds of things. But I also like the notion that the world perhaps isn't as black and white and clear cut as we like to think it is, and that yes, humans do play a big part in making the world a more miserable place for other humans, but at the same time that we're getting close to a point maybe that we might experience something so wonderful and otherworldly that we kind of realise that our existence was literally on the end of a matchstick, and that the greater existence, the greater potential we have as human beings in our minds, it's just unfathomable. And stage by stage, we might be introduced to this as an evolutionary thing. We didn't imagine planes. We didn't imagine a wheel until it happened. So maybe down the line, this is a beginning, and there might not be a red letter day where we say, "Oh, remember that day when things changed?" Or perhaps there will be. Perhaps somebody will say to us, "Well, did you actually know that it was the December, January, and March of 2020 when, the great shift began?" And people will be saying, "Yeah, I remember that time." And the main thing is that I think if there is going to be a shift into whatever the next phase of humankind is, then we have to we have to shift and evolve inside. Maybe genetically, maybe spiritually, we have to move, and with that, because until we do, we're still 100 years in the past, 10,000 years in the past. We still haven't changed. I mean, if you look at social media now, what's going on? We're still holding witch trials, but in a modern era, and vicariously through chat on social media posts, and there's still witch trials. People still want those gladiatorial games. They want blood sport, and sadly we're not quite there yet. But I think we're getting there. I think people are just literally fed up. They're fed up with war. They're fed up with aggression. They're fed up with starvation. They're fed up with inequality. You know, UK is a fine example for that. If you want to do something, most legislation kind of works against you. You know, if you used to say, "Hey, you know what? We've got there's 6 roads in our little sector, our block, and we would like, you know, autonomy to grow food. You know, maybe raise some animals, you know, for food. You know, maybe not to eat, but yeah, I mean that's a bit horrible. But you know, just, you know, cows for milk, just kind of basic stuff, but mainly just kind of growing food and stuff like that. I guarantee you that they'll find some legislation to shut you down because it doesn't keep you in that mode of fear. I just got to do a radio check. Hello.
Where are you?
Not too far from you.
Say that again, please.
Not too far away.
I'm sitting on the back of my car and someone's shining a green light about 100 metres away. Is that you?
That affirmative.
What are you doing?
I was just having a sort of scan about. Thought I could hear something earlier on, but yeah, just having a scan about. So I'm back at the car in a few seconds.
Okay, see you in a minute. Bye.
So yes, we do keep in touch. There's 2 of us here tonight, and we do keep in touch with two-way radio, and so a bit of safety. Some safety there. Got to be safe. You know, you can easily trip. I mean, I guess also I'm not sure what the nocturnal habits are of the local snakes, the adders, but I don't really want to tread on one, so I'm avoiding, you know, going across grass or anything. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on what I kind of would like to, I guess, see in the world. I don't think we'll destruct. I think, you know, I think interventions are happening, and mainly that's coming from us. I think there's a lot more light. It might feel darker in the world, but there's also a lot more light in the world. And I think, you know, it's the light that people give out that will help us through. And I don't mean this kind of woke, let's love everybody kind of light. Let's lay down and you know, get kicked kind of light, you know. It's not a passive thing. I think it has to be an active thing, and I think we have to work at it, and you know, we have to spread word. We have to make people understand that, you know, their life isn't futile, and that there's more to everything than perhaps what they're experiencing at the moment. And yeah, so I'm going to sign off for a bit, back at the car. It's quite a cloudy night, and not really conducive to sky watching, but you never know how these nights go, because sometimes it's a case of clouds can clear very quickly. You know, the night can warm up, sometimes it gets colder. You know, you just don't know. So till next time, toodaloo, and hopefully I'll do some more videos there.